guys. It's June 8th, 2020, and you're watching me, Nikki, you also known as Facelesstrader here in Awesome 10X channel. We'll discuss about the charts for the week and what's happening in the market. So the Philippines, are we too excited about the reopening? Let's discuss the Carnage stocks. Why did they rampage? Will they continue? And let's discuss the top sectors for the week versus the year to date. First and foremost, for those who don't know, Carnage stocks, who are they? Let me read to you a few things. In the past few sessions, for those who are following me on Facelesstrader Twitter or on my Medium account, I used to report that in the Philippines, you had to buy the Carnage. March 24, 2020, I said that the risk rewards in your life today are losing 1, winning 17. We live in extraordinary times. Liquidations phase spells super bargains. If you're a Filipino, you probably know about this movie. We talked about Popoy and Pasha in the movie One Last Chance. In that zone, in that movie, there was a line that you said you'll buy me at my you said you love me at my worst, but you had me at my best, she loved me at my worst, something like that. Now in the Philippines, what we meant to say is that when a company is at their worst, if you really love a person, sabi mo you will buy them at their worst, gawin mo. That's in Filipino. In English, to translate it, you said you'll buy me at my worst, so you have to do it. In this case, there was a time, of course, in the last 3 months when people were predicting doomsayer for casinos, restaurants due to social distancing, as well as airlines. And so it really gave one of the best risk reward. As we said, it was losing 1 and winning 17. We kept on reiterating our Carnage names. Shakey's Pizza, Max's Restaurants, Jollibee, Bloomberry, PLC. We discussed as well brick and mortar retailers, SSI, your airlines, Macro Asia, your energy names such as Petron and Shell. So let's discuss all of these quote unquote bad names, what has been happening in their stocks. No? Here, let me present to you a few things for those who are new to the channel. For those who are new to the channel, my Twitter handle is @Facelesstrader. You can follow me there. So I tweeted this out last Friday or Saturday that bad boys finished strong. The top of the heap was Philippines. Philippines was up for the week 16.86%, outpacing Indonesia, China, India, you name it. Of course, we outpaced the other countries as we are a small market. You could see that David Ingles of Bloomberg TV also tweeted this out. Check out this crazy rally in Philippine stocks. Manila is the best performing market globally since late last week. In this index is up 15%, more than 15% over that time. Now, let's take a look what happened for Philippine names essentially, month to date and week to date. Take note that airline stock, Macro Asia was up 67%. MY, which is a construction name, up 63%. Cebu Pacific, your airline, up 40%. This is 1 week. Security Bank, now take note, Security Bank and Megawide are both deleted, same as for Macro Asia. So it was a beneficiary of your MSCI deletion discount valuation play, plus this general reopening theme. So this excitement on your reopening for butts, people call it butts in the seats, or the more people booking in on their airline tickets, even if that booking is next year, say 6 months or 12 months from now, if they're booking a trip to abroad, that means that it's good news for the airlines. And tourism industry data, not just here, but mostly globally, are showing that we have been bottoming out on the airline sector, such that globally, Philippines, worldwide airlines have been rallying anywhere from about 60 to 100 to 200% moves 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter. So a lot of airlines got decimated, and definitely that excitement on reopening really went to the hardest hit sector, which is the airline sector. You could see that all home went up 35, 36%. we explained that home and GT Cap last Friday were benefiting from a surprise. So all home had a very good earnings report. It was valued very incorrectly at about 567 prior to earnings. So that explains that jump. Today is just more of a continuation. GT Capital has been rising. People are saying before that there will be less transportation. Of course, we know that to be a false thing, given that people are now there's even more traffic, not more traffic, but there is that bottoming out, given that there is traffic ongoing in the Manila situation, which tells you that transportation is coming back. So that tells you that the week-to-date percentage change are mostly coming from your weakest names. We call them your Carnage names. So let's discuss the top sectors versus the year-to-date. Will they continue? Okay, so let's see. Go to the charts. Go to okay. Let's go analyze this sector by sector. So Philippine Stock Index is up now about 6.5. You're seeing that the index, you have these sectors, the services, the holdings, the industrials, properties, and the financials. Let's take a look at them one by one. So services sector has generally been the outperformer for the year. You could see that the services sector went from 1,000 to 1,400. Who are your services sector? That would be your telephone and Globe. Definitely, telephone and Globe were your first leaders. And given the reopening, people are now selling off their winners to go to the quote-unquote losers, to the bad names. Where did they go? They went to financials. Take a look at what happened. Financials went from about 1,080 to 1,370. You could see that it wasn't just Security Bank that really outpaced the move, although from a percentage weekly move, Security Bank went up primarily because it was sold down more than the rest. So take a look. Okay, SecB went from about 76 to 116, but your other banks, of course, followed suit. 86 to 115 for BDO. Today, one day down for BDO. PPI, one of the outperformers, continuously up from about 48 lows, now at 77. Kind of had a hard time rising, as people can see that there's resistance for BPI here at about 80 or 84. So limited upside going forward, but it doesn't mean that you definitely have seen the top. It just means that people who are chasing now have a very difficult risk reward versus people who had a very, very good risk reward when they were buying lows. Okay, so BPO. Okay, let's talk about the laggard. Metrobank continues to be a laggard here at 42. Still hasn't risen to your March tops of about 55, 50. So we could see that if the market will continue to bargain hot, Metrobank will continue to get bought. Higher lows seen on this name, 37.50 to 40. Those in cash would wait for better re-entry points, better risk-reward ratios, but that doesn't mean that they are topish. GT Cap, of course, this is your 4 days rally from about 380 now to about 512. That would be more than 25% in 3 days. A lot of people would see that this is in your resistance zone. Doesn't mean that it will not keep on higher at 570. However, any rallies, as we said, we want to go scale out as the risk. Meaning, as the reward gets slimmer and slimmer for those who are chasing, you have to trim it upward, not dictating how high it can go. Because as you know, GT Cap used to trade at about 700 pesos prior to ECQ. And so can it rally all the way to about 700? It is not impossible if the market is very bullish on reopening. Okay, let's discuss your, of course, for your airlines. JGS has been rallying, one of the most beneficiaries, given that JG Summit has a huge position on Cebu Pacific. Now, JGS is a mixed bag if you think about it, because JGS has subsidiaries that are in your consumer staple, which is your URC. And you have, so JGS is a conglomerate. Essentially, it has the weak sectors and the good sectors. So it's good to see that the market is appreciating JG Summit for this reopening. But the reality is JGS is a very stable company. So it makes it good. It has properties. Of course, JGS is just URC. Is still playing the pain trade, which is the pain trade is for your sympathy names, sympathy love names, which are your airlines, your restaurants, your banks, your weekly names. Okay, so far Robinson's Land rallied from 14 all the way to about 23. If you weren't scaling out, take a look. After 23, it goes down to 19. So at these points in time when the risk reward is skewed more to less risk and high risk and less reward. In high risk, less reward situations, we will not be surprised if there will be inevitable small profit taking or larger profit taking. You could see that these are happening to your casinos. Bloomberry from 5 to 750. Of course, this is a strong move ever since 410. We have been speculating that Bloomberry would rise somewhere from 4 to 6. We were correct that it was going to rise, but so far, it is rising all the way to about 7.5. That's a good thing. Definitely, people are very bullish on the re-airline theme. Take note, Bloomberry was trading at 9. It doesn't mean that 750 is already resistance. It could go to 8 or 9, but we would rather that people should trail their gains if they have, and those who don't have it should wait for your re-entry points next few months or so, given that we are rallying pretty fast in such a short span of time. You'll understand this more when I discuss the global context, which is another which you also do videos on. These are going to be my topics for global later. But definitely, what I can say in the Philippines is that this is just more of a catching up. Philippines is just really catching up with the world. A lot of your traditional names, even your mining, which generally speaking doesn't go up, has been rising these past few days. So 2, 3, 4. So you could see that this really right now we are in a dump money move. So we are in a money flow move wherein Philippines gets some buyers. How big is the buying today? Take a look on your index. Your market valuation for the day, 8.9 billion. You've got foreign net selling a bit, 147 million. Biggest losers, BDO, PLDT, Globe, SM. But very strong wins for Semirara Mining. Mining and Power, Security Bank, Mega World. So we're seeing some miners, financials, properties. That's really more of a catch-up game. Take a look that these Semiraras haven't, they're like down 80, 90%. So it was trading like from 20 all the way to 8. But if you look at the bigger chart from a 10-year format, so it's down like from 50 all the way to 8. That's more than like about 90% down. So these are your like secular. I would say there's a theme of a secular loser for like mining names. So long term, they still are not in the best sectors to date, and you could see that these are your selling opportunities for rallies of Semirara. So be careful on chasing companies because really right now the strongest leaders are your weakest losers. How do we say this? Let's go to your stats. You go to analytics, you go to technicals. Sorry, you don't need technicals. You just go to price performance. You could see that from a price performance perspective, your 52-week high lows would come from sectors that the percentage bounce from your 52-week lows will come from assorted names, but not all of them would have the fundamental backing to really give them that boost. So you've got like third telcos, Ditto. You've got of course Manila Water when Ayala Corp got forgiven. So yeah, strong moves for Ayala Corp, Manila Water. You see tech rising to JG Summit as a subsidiary for airlines, Macro Asia good for airlines. So yeah, from the way that this looks, percentage wise, I'd say that people have to be very careful um, with the strong moves of the market. You have to have some bit of a restraint if you are buying these names, as we are still not out of the woods. Um, we mentioned that Cebu Pacific at 33 had a good entry. That was around May 28th, and we opined that 50 was a good reward to get into. So far, Cebu Pacific is now here at 50.51. Now it's hitting 51.75. We're not dictating that this is the top, but we would rather that people should be very careful entering these names. You will see a double top here at 54. It could rise to about 60 or even 64. But if you're entering here without any plan, you might be not in a favorable state. So be careful out there. Philippine Stock Index is these are your biggest your strongest moves. Your services and holdings should be the ones that you are looking at if you're looking to buy, as they are more resilient. That means that our original picks, which are falling right now due to that rotation to the bad names, you have to take a look whether Telephone will give you an entry here at the 1080 and find an entry here at the 1000, as people will not really number one, PLDT would continue to have their profits, so no problem on the dividends. Fundamentally, nothing wrong. So any entries giving you good risk reward ratio should be taken advantage of. Now, same for Globe, no problem with your services. So I'd say that this drop on your services sector is actually an opportunity for people who have cash to wait in line. Probably if you could enter Globe at 2,000, even if it falls at 1.9, should be an entry point. Um, yeah, URC doesn't have drop, so that's good. If it continues higher, 150, that's a good thing. Generally speaking, yeah, for your bad names, you have to be very careful now. I like casinos, I like restaurants, but you have to be very careful on those rallies. Rally points here at 150 to 160 would be a trim out for Jollibee. Pizza has rallied very strongly, of course. It's now at about 7. 695 can rally here at about 750 to 8, but just be cognizant of the risk reward ratios right now. Just because M-wide rallied 67% up, of course, doesn't mean that it will not rally any further. But there are reasons why construction names and mining names and airlines and why they are down significantly. We call this really a typical bear market move. This is a bear market rally for your weak names. On bear market rallies, you actually have to lighten on the way up. Now, if you sell and then it goes continuous higher, 50% higher, please do not condemn yourself for selling at 780 and then next few days you see Mega White hit 10. It is normal that nobody can really sell the tops. The point is you have to scale out. Scaling out is, I tweeted this. Let me read to you. Scaling in and scaling out is a systematic admission of being cognizant that technicals are not enough, neither fundamentals. It is how you decide selling upwards and buying downwards with portions of your portfolio risk that will really help you in the long run. So that's gonna be my so that's really for the Philippines. Any rallies, careful lang. You've got these very strong month-to-date changes for your bad sectors. And so you really have to be very cognizant about those things. Doesn't mean that they will not stop rising. It could. We're seeing laggards pick up. Some casinos like PLC have been picking up. brick and mortar retailers like SSI have been picking up. They can continue higher. Not saying that this is done. Take note that TLC was lagging against Bloomberry. Bloomberry is probably here already at 45 cents. So PLC still has moved to run up. Uh, also, financials, not all the banks have rallied all the way. So like East West can continue to rally at 9. But if you're willing to buy, you have to really wait for your entries at 7. All Home, of course, is considered a COVID-proof name after those earnings. So you still want to enter lower. Doesn't mean that if you buy 740 that it won't go 9. It could. Yes, it could. But just trying to tell people to learn your risk reward ratios and be careful out there. Thank you very much.